What I find so amazing is since the beginning of this panel, which we are here about Benghazi attack against our people, not one person mentioned Muslims. We are here against Islam, or we're launching war against Muslims. We are here to discuss how 4 Americans died and what our government is doing. We were not here to bash Muslims. You were the one who brought up the issue about most Muslims, not us. And since you brought it up, allow me to elaborate with my answer. So why should we worry about the radicals, 15 to 25%? Because it is the radicals that kill. Because it is the radicals that behead and massacre.
In 2024, a Muslim student stood up to ask a question about the peaceful majority of Muslims. It was a question she would soon regret asking, as it backfired in a dramatic way. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. This is Tell Me Dr. K, a channel manipulative religious leaders we should never discover. Because on this channel we cut through the noise and expose what is beneath. If you crave for deep dives like this one, subscribe and smash the notice bell for more. And by so doing, you are helping us to bring more deep dives like this one. Today we are diving into a moment that Brigitte Gabriel declared the peaceful majority Muslims irrelevant. Was it a truth rooted in history or a dangerous fallacy? Let's find out. The setting is that there was a panel of experts hosted by the Heritage Foundation focusing on the Benghazi attacks. The atmosphere was already charged with tension. Saba Ahmed, an American law student wearing a traditional hijab, stepped to the microphone. Her question was simple. If there are 1.8 billion Muslims in the world and 8 million in America, why are they not represented on the stage? How can we end the war over ideology with bullets? Here is the clip.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace to you all. My name is Saba Ahmed. I'm a law student at American University. I am here to ask you a simple question. I know that we portray Islam and all Muslims as bad, but there's 1.8 billion Muslim followers of Islam. We have 8 million plus Muslim Americans in this country, and I don't see them represented here. But my question is, how can we fight an ideological war with weapons? How can we ever end this war? The jihadist ideology that you talk about, it's an ideology. How can you ever win this thing if you don't address it ideologically?
The response didn't come from a moderator. It came from Brigitte Gabriel, the founder of Act for America. What followed is a masterclass in high-stakes rhetoric that shifted the conversation from the majority to the powerful. Gabriel begins her analysis by conceding a point often used by defenders of Islam, that the majority of Muslims are peaceful. However, she immediately pivots using what we call the logic of scale. She cites intelligence estimates that 15 to 25% of Muslims are radicalized. By her math, that is 180 million to 300 million people dedicated to the destruction of the Western civilization. By stating these massive numbers, she shifts the viewer's focus away from the individual in front of her, Saba Ahmed, into a global existential threat. Here is the clip.
Great question. I am so glad you're here, and I am so glad you brought that up because it gives us an opportunity to answer. What I find so amazing is since the beginning of this panel, which we are here about Benghazi attack against our people, not one person mentioned Muslims. We are here against Islam, or we're launching war against Muslims. We are here to discuss how 4 Americans died and what our government is doing. We were not here to bash Muslims. You were the one who brought up the issue about most Muslims, not us. And since you brought it up, allow me to elaborate with my answer. There are 1.2 billion Muslims in the world today. Of course, not all of them are radicals. The majority of them are peaceful people. The radicals are estimated to be between 15 to 25% according to all intelligence services around the world. That leaves 75% of them peaceful people. But when you look at 15 to 25% of the world Muslim population, you're looking at 180 million to 300 million people dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization. That is as big of the United States. So why should we worry about the radicals, 15 to 25%? Because it is the radicals that kill. Because it is the radicals that behead and massacre.
Her rhetoric goal here is to redefine peace as passivity. As far as Gabriel is concerned, being peaceful is a known factor as long as you cannot stop the massacre of the innocent, or you do not stop the radicals within your ranks. In fact, somebody responded to one of my videos and said, the radicals are the snake that bite, but the so-called peaceful majority, they are the grass that hides the majority. In fact, Musab, the Green Prince, stated that, how do I know who is going to harm me? Because they all look the same. Here is the clip.
The Islamic law says, and this is according to Muhammad in a Sahih Hadith, if someone changes his religion, Islam in this case, give him 3 days. If he does not return to Islam, kill him. So this is according to Muhammad now, the founder of Islam, and according to the most trusted Islamic sources. So now there is a death sentence against me by this totalitarian system. Now, when someone identify with Islam and come and say, I'm a Muslim, now, how am I to actually feel about him? If there is a death sentence against me and against, by the way, many ex-Muslims that we are supposed to be beheaded for just rejecting our belief system and its delusion.
Right.
So now for you, you can sit, you and the rest of the world, you can sit and reject my concern because you are not in the fire. There is no death penalty hanging over your head. There is no price over your head. You are sitting in comfort. We are fighting for our lives. Me and thousands of those who rejected the Islamic ideology. And there are perpetrators out there who want us dead. Now, when some Mustafa, because he was born that way, come and create a false sense that Islam is a religion of peace, they are already complicit in this crime. They are already taking the side of the enemy. They are already given cover to those who want to harm me and harm the rest of civilians and the rest of non-Muslims across the world. This is why I stand firmly and say, what makes you a Muslim? Are you a practicing Muslim? Then you are a jihadist. Or at least you justify the jihad. If this is what you do, this means that you are my enemy. It's as simple as that. Now you tell me they are peaceful, not peaceful. How do I know?
Shift to irrelevance. Notice the term she uses, irrelevant. It is a surgical strike. She doesn't call the peaceful majority evil. She calls them meaningless in the context of global security. Now, this allows her to dismiss the entire argument that Saba Ahmed presented without appearing like she was making a personal attack on her. She effectively tells the peaceful majority, your existence doesn't change the trajectory of the war, so why focus on you? The audience as a weapon. There was a standing ovation by the crowd that clapped for this resounding response.
It is time we take political correctness and throw it in the garbage where it belongs and start calling it fair.
This is a crucial element of the stunning nature of her response. Gabriel wasn't just speaking to Ahmed, she was performing for an audience that felt their concerns about national security were being silenced by political correctness, a term she explicitly tells Ahmed to throw in the garbage. By being vitriolic and unapologetic, Gabriel validates the audience's concerns. turning a policy discussion into a moment of tribal catharsis. Gabriel's response remains a seminal moment because it forces us to confront the question: does the character of the majority matter if the minority are violent enough to change the world? It doesn't. Whether you see her as a truth teller or as an alarmist, her dismissal of the peaceful majority redefines the debate over Islam in the West for a generation. If this debate has resonated with you, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell for more. To watch other Gabriel's videos, click on this link.